In this episode of Truth Lies in Propaganda, I should have changed the title to Truth Lies in a Big Car Crash. And I'm going to be talking about these two, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. But mainly I'm going to be going through this website of theirs, and I'm going to be doing some fact-checking, and basically going through the small text. This website is like any packaging which has got the large text, the beautiful cover, and then there's the nitty-gritty in the small text. And some of this is very interesting. But to start with, I imagine that they've spent millions of pounds doing this website, or hundreds of thousands of pounds. It's been called slick, it's well designed, and it's got a load of information and nice photographs. But if I open it in Safari, and Safari is a browser that's used by a lot of Macintosh people, a lot of people like me do not like to install Google Chrome because it installs something called a Google agent, which just makes the CPU boil over, and it also tracks you. So a lot of people either use Firefox or Safari. Now this is a so-called responsive website. This is the view in Safari. If I bring back the view in Firefox, responsive, as you probably all know, is that when I move the window, or if I open it on another device, a smaller monitor, a smaller screen, an iPhone or an iPad or a tablet or a laptop, in this case I'm on a desktop, even if I just resize the browser window, all the images will be responsive to the size, what is available. So they will sort of move around, they'll get bigger or they'll get smaller, and all the text will fit in there more or less. If I try to do the same thing in Safari, hey presto, doesn't work. All the responsive stuff, all the other menus which should have moved over and should have appeared, have disappeared, so all the responsive crap doesn't work here. Now I'm a pretty shitty webmaster. I steal JavaScript, I paste together jQuery sequences, some CSS, but I do know how to make a website which also works in Safari. So if the Royal Highnesses would like to send me £50,000, I'd be happy to fix this for them in half an hour. Because if this is all about being inclusive and offering inclusivity to the whole world, I and another million Mac users might not feel being included, because you haven't catered for our special needs. I don't give a fuck, you know. I'm just making this as a point, because these people have become suddenly very woke, very virtue signaling, virtue appropriating, and preaching and lecturing. And this is why the British public are really going off them. And if anybody takes care to go through this website to understand their plan, the escape plan to the Planet of the Apes, or the escape plan to Vancouver Island, where they've just spent a month in some Russian oligarch's billion-dollar villa, and they now intend to become self-sufficient, independent financially, well, apart from the webmaster who should be fired, I don't know who put this plan together. The plan sounds good, but I don't know who decided to put it up here for the world to see, because it's a car crash. And this is not going to end well. Not that I would wish them bad. I've already done 2 videos about Prince Andrew on this channel, in defense of Prince Andrew. He hasn't been found guilty yet. He hasn't been accused officially. He hasn't been heard by any police of any country, yet he's been sent to the cleaners. He's been sent to Coventry. He's been ostracized. They've made a pauper and a beggar of him, and he's disappeared from the scene. So I guess these 2 guys are doing it, but not like Prince Andrew. They want to be royals. They don't want to be royals. They want to be royals. They don't want to be royals. They don't want to be senior royals anymore, but they want to be royals with an income. They want to be royals who can make money on their own. So I'm going to be going through this website. And by the way, for you royals, this doesn't work on a tablet or an iPad using Safari. It does work on an iPhone, doesn't work on my desktop in Safari, and doesn't work on my iPad. You might want to start getting that fixed. I want to be included in your righteous preaching for the whole world. Let's get to it. Before I start going through the nitty-gritty, I'll just start by clicking on this part here, supporting community. Let's make it a bit smaller so we can see it all in the window. Now if I scroll down here, all I see is multi-ethnic people. The only white person here is him, Prince Harry. She's, I think we can't say coloured today, so she's half black or ethnic, let's say that way. Fine. Here not only do we have no white people, but there's no man in this photograph. Now, if these people are going to be inclusive, I don't feel included because, first of all, there's no pictures of white males here. You know, us privileged folks who have to work 15 hours a day to make a living. But that's not the point. I don't give a fuck. I get the point that they do charity work in Africa and save the rhinoceros in Rwanda or wherever it is. But the royal family, you know, those from Britain, the UK, the British, based in London. When was the last time you guys went around, not the centre of London, but around the outskirts of London or in other towns and cities cities in England. There are hundreds of homeless people living under bridges, sleeping in cars, begging on the pavements. And a lot of them are white. And I haven't found one thing that you're offering here amongst the millions of things that you're going to be doing. We're going to be going through that. You're going to have to be bigger than an NGO, and they're promising to do stuff here that even small governments can't manage to do. But if you're going to be preaching the world how everybody should be inclusive, well, start with white homeless people, or add them to your list of wokeness. That would be a nice start.